All right, it's time to put the women and children to bed because it is my favorite part of the show. A little something we like to call Blogger Throwdown.
Yes.
First up, let's welcome David Wunderlich, editor of TeamSpeedKills.com, representing the Florida Gators. And welcome back another two-time guest tonight. What a night, monumental night. Kyle King, editor of Dogsports.com, representing the Georgia-Bulldogs. Fellas, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
All right,
Absolutely.
Now, this is the Blogger Throwdown. We've implemented some new rules this week because we want to keep it tight. We're fine-tuning what we do. 30 seconds each for your answers. No more, no less. But if you do go over, you will never be invited back. All right, got it?
We're not quite that strict. All right, Kyle, let's start off by talking about Gators running back Mike Gillislee. Will he have success against the Bulldogs defense, or is it going to be the old 37-yard performance like last week?
Well, we certainly hope that the Mike Gillislee we've seen the last 2 weeks is the real Mike Gillislee. We give him credit for that 100-yard day he had against LSU. That was legit. But his other 100-yard days came against Bowling Green, a team Florida barely beat in the swamp. And his other 100-yard game came against Tennessee. I'm not going to belittle that achievement, but I'd like to point out Georgia had two guys break the century mark against the Vols.
Wow, kept it concise.
Strong.
Too,
I like it. That's a good start. David,
right.
what you got?
Well, it's true that he did have a bad game last week against a good defense, and that can happen to anybody. But 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt, the Commodores threw everything they had on defense at him. And maybe Mike Gillislee didn't get to 100 yards, but you know who did? Jeff Driscoll. He had 177 yards on 11 carries. Look, he had 146 yards against LSU, and he rushed for 5.9 yards per carry against Texas A&M. He's going to get his yards against Georgia. And you know what? If he doesn't, it's because he's watching Jeff Driscoll run down the field unimpeded.
Ooh, pretty good point there. All right, David, since we're talking about Jeff Driscoll, let's go straight for it. Let's talk about the QB matchups in this game. Which QB do you think has been a better leader for their team, your boy Driscoll or Aaron Murray?
I don't think Jeff Driscoll has been quite as much of a leader because he hasn't been asked to be as much of a leader. Really, on offense, they're leaning on Gillislee. They're leaning on those guys up front on the offensive line, whereas Aaron Murray is a 3-year starter, and yeah, he's going to be the leader of that team. But I really like the way Driscoll has been improving week to week to week this season, and every week he looks more comfortable, and I think he's going to lead the team to a really great Saturday.
Kyle, why is Aaron Murray the better quarterback?
Well, last weekend, Jeff Driscoll improved all the way to 93 yards, while Aaron Murray was throwing for 107 yards per quarter. Look, Aaron Murray just finished his best game in a Georgia uniform. He set a career high for passing yards. He broke the school career touchdown record halfway through his junior season. He's a semifinalist for the Davey O'Brien Award. If Jeff Driscoll were any less ready for prime time, he'd be a contender for the Conan O'Brien Award.
Ooh, wow, impressive. He's bringing it tonight.
We do have to mark him absent when he took that field trip to Columbia, though. Now, David, we know how good Murray and Georgia's offense has been. Will the Gators' fourth-ranked defense be able to shut him down?
Oh, I think they definitely have a great chance to shut him down. I mean, look, you look at the way that Florida is against the pass. They're an elite pass defense. They're second in the nation in completion percentage against. They're fifth in the nation in yards per attempt against. And they're third in the nation in passing efficiency defense. I mean, nobody throws the ball well on these guys, least of all Aaron Murray. And you look at Purifoy and Watkins, they're the best cornerback combo that Florida's had in years. Matt Elam is a maniac, but in a good way. And Josh Evans leads the team in...
Oh, you got it in there.
Yeah, he snuck it in there. All right, Kyle, what do you got?
The last 3 times Will Muschamp led a top 20 defense against his alma mater as a defensive coordinator, Georgia scored 45, 37, and 45 points. Mike Bobo ain't scared of Larry.
Oh, I like it. We're getting a good throwdown tonight. All right, it's tight. You want a rebuttal, David?
And they only had 24 points.
Oh, okay. All right. Finally, last up, last chance. All right, you guys. All right, this game is known as the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, and a contract was recently signed to keep it in Jacksonville until 2016. But, David, how would you feel if Georgia coach Mark Richt had his way and the game one day got moved to a neutral site in Georgia? How would you feel about that?
I would be very disappointed. This game has been in Jacksonville since forever, I think the 1930s even, and there's only 3 neutral site rivalry type games out there. There's this one, you've got the Red River Shootout, and then you got Army-Navy. It's a very special series to be there at the neutral site, And that's exactly where it needs to stay. And look, I can understand they want to move it since in the modern era of college football, since World War II is over, Florida leads the series 36-30-1.
Kyle, I can only imagine that you are dying to get this game within Georgia state lines.
Actually, I don't mind at all. I like how they cut off history at whatever point suits them. The fact is, Georgia has a winning record against Florida all time in Jacksonville. We don't mind playing them in a building called the Gator Bowl, because if we beat them there, we get to go play another game in a building called the Georgia Dome.
Ooh, Kyle's been bringing it all night. All right, I get to declare the winner. David, I love you, but you're a Gator. You know I don't give any love for Gators. Kyle's he's a returning guest. He was man enough to come back, and I want to bring up what happened last time. Kyle, your boys got spanked against South Carolina.
Yeah.
So you deserve a little love. We will crown Kyle King with the championship right there. Thanks for coming on, fellas.
Honorable mention, David.
It's been a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Danny. Thanks, guys.